Hello from Berlin. I am currently here for a couple of days on a little solo trip. All of my plans kind of did change, so I've already been here for like 2 days and I haven't actually vlogged anything. I really hope you can hear me, but the reason we're here is the Shawn Mendes show, which was last night, and I barely vlogged because all of my plans changed and I ended up queuing and I ended up being front row, which was absolutely crazy. It was such a special night. I will talk about it later, but I will just start with a couple of clips that I did take the past few days and then we'll go from there.
That's okay, I'll just sing the first word. You guys ready?
Broke my heart when I canceled tour. Felt my soul in my head going back and forth. Don't know how I'm gonna face you now. Sorry, gotta do it, gotta let you down. Cause I don't really know who I am right now. That'll be the day I lose you, baby. Hallelujah.
So that's that. I will talk about the experience later because it was honestly so messy and chaotic, but also so special at the same time, and I'm actually gonna cry thinking about it. But I really don't want to turn my YouTube into like a fangirl YouTube again because I kind of finally grew out of that. But with Shawn, I just turned into a different person, so I will talk about that later. So like I said, it's another solo trip. I am currently walking to this cafe that is like the one cafe that I wanted to go to in Berlin. So I'm really excited to just sit there and have a coffee and some breakfast and just do like some journaling or reading and have like a cozy morning because we're really tired this morning. Yeah, that's the plan. It's also just really raining and a very shitty weather day, so yeah.
I used to getting all confused. Give me a minute, let me dilute. I don't know why I tried so hard to stay on your radar, in your orbit. And I know I said I didn't want it all, but I think I want it all. I think I need it all. And I really try to be never know, you never know. You never know, you never know. You never know, you never know. You never know, you never know.
Okay, I really hope you can hear me at least a little bit, but I might be a little bit crazy for getting 2 drinks at the same time, but I couldn't choose and I really wanted to try both of them. So I ended up getting a banana matcha and a pistachio latte, and I really hope they're both gonna be nice, and I'm honestly so excited about these. We're gonna start with the pistachio latte. That is really good. That one's 100% approved. And then the banana matcha. This is such a weird combination, I feel like, but it's honestly so good. It's honestly just a banana taste, which is really good, and then with a little bit of like a matcha aftertaste. These are both really good. I'm so glad that I actually got both of them. So right now I don't really know what I want to do, but I honestly don't really feel like being alone. I just went to a photo booth and it honestly was so hard. I wanted to film, but my phone kept falling off. So on this one, on the first one, I wasn't paying attention because my phone dropped. And then on the second one, my phone dropped in the second picture. So I was like moving, and it's a very weird picture, but honestly it's so cute and I'm so glad that I did this. And now I think I'm gonna try and meet up with a few people that I know that are still also in Berlin. Yeah, I think we're just gonna walk in their direction and meet up with them and see what we'll end up doing. Hi, it's been about a week since I came back from Berlin, and I just really wanted to debrief and kind of talk about this little solo trip. Basically, in my opinion, it was a bit different than the other solo trips that I've been on this year, which kind of had to do with the city and the trip itself, but also with how I was feeling, because for some reason before I went on this trip, like a few weeks before, I was really excited. Just everything about this trip made me so excited, and I was really excited to explore. And then just a few days before, I just didn't want to be alone. Like, for some reason I just didn't really feel like being alone in a different city, and I don't know, I just had some weird feelings about it. In the end, I also didn't really end up vlogging as much as I would have wanted to, which I honestly feel so bad about, because I didn't want to make this vlog like a full-on fangirl vlog, because I don't want to turn my YouTube into a fangirl YouTube. I feel like that's not who I am. Like, I am definitely a fangirl when it comes to Shawn Mendes, but that is also the only person I would do this for. So I feel like this is like 20% of my life, and then all of my other vlogs are like the other 80%. So I do want to show this, but I don't want like my whole YouTube and this whole vlog to be about just the concert, because the concert was the reason why I even went on this trip to Berlin. But as I was saying, my plans for this trip kind of changed, which is what I want to talk about, and I do want to kind of talk about the trip and the experience because it was really good. Basically, the reason why I was going to Berlin is because Shawn Mendes was performing there, and I was gonna take a train and go there on Wednesday and go back on Friday. So I already knew I wasn't gonna see that much of the city because I only had practically like 1 day, like 1.5 days there. Then on Monday, my train for Wednesday actually got cancelled, and I was like, what am I supposed to do now? And obviously I still really wanted to make it to Berlin, so at that point I felt like my best option would be to go to Berlin a day earlier. So I would go on Tuesday. So I had to arrange a lot of things with like work and stuff, because I originally had to work on Tuesday, and luckily I was able to arrange all of that, and I was very grateful for that. So all of that meant that I was gonna go to Berlin a day earlier, and basically I never queue for concerts. Like, almost never. I think the earliest I've queued like ever was like 8 8 a.m. once, also for Shawn Mendes. And on the one side, it's because I just don't really mind being at the back of the show, because usually I just do things like explore a city during the day or something. And also in Amsterdam, I live quite far from Amsterdam, so the earliest I can even be there is like 8 a.m., which usually is not really worth it, like actually queuing anymore. So I just don't really ever queue. But because I was going to be in Berlin the day before, and as I said, I didn't really feel like being alone, and for some reason Berlin just didn't really give me the best solo trip vibes. So I spoke to Job and I was like, should I like try to queue? So my plan kind of was to go to the venue early on Wednesday morning, like 5-6 a.m. and then just see how many people were there, and then I can still decide if I wanted to queue or not. Because I also just didn't know what to expect from the queuing situation, because the venue had like a 4K capacity. So on the Tuesday, I go on the train to Berlin and I actually run into a couple of friends that were on the same train. So I sat with them, and at some point there was this rumor that there were already people queuing like 10 a.m. the day before. And a couple of minutes later, my friends are like, we're gonna go straight to the venue from the train. Do you want to come? And at first I was like, absolutely not, because first of all, I've never done that before. Second of all, I want to see something in Berlin. And I just felt like I would be absolutely crazy for doing that, because most of all, because I've just never done it before, so I'm not really used to any of the like queuing and camping stuff. But then I kind of started thinking about it and I was like, I don't really know what to do. So I texted Job again, because I kind of needed like a neutral opinion, and I honestly thought that he was going to be like, you're absolutely insane for even thinking about this. But in reality, Job actually said, you've never done that before, right? Why wouldn't you like try it once in your life, and if you hate it, you will never do it again? But then at least you'll hopefully have a really good experience, because you'll be like in the front. I did feel like if Shawn is going to do like arenas again, the whole experience is going to be really different. So I felt like if you would want to do it, this would be the perfect opportunity for it. So I just went delusional and I decided that I was going to go and do it. I was so unprepared because it's freaking November, so it's really cold, and I didn't have any like warm clothing or just things that I would like survive the queuing with. So I did go to a couple of stores to get some essentials to get me through, and honestly I did think about that if it was actually going to be too cold, or if I didn't think I would like be able to handle it, I would stop and like actually go to my hotel, because I did have a hotel. So I ended up queuing for about 30 hours, which honestly I thought it would be worse. It was a bit cold, but I did get a lot of stuff that would get me through. I wouldn't say I would do it again, and as I said, Shawn Mendes is the only person I would do this for, because just the power he has, it's actually insane. Because I don't know, the whole thing is just so special, because I just really grew up with him, and his music and just him in general just means so much to me. So the whole experience was just really nice, because I ended up being front row, which was so special because it was just really personal in this venue, and there were so many interactions, and it was so fun. And what happened after the show, I honestly can't even like say it out loud, because it's so special to me. Back in the days, he would run down the barricade after In My Blood and kind of hug people or interact with people, and he hadn't done that like since he started music again. And honestly, I can't even talk about it, so I will just insert the photo and the video here, because it was so freaking special to me. I cannot even explain to you how much this means to me. Just this whole show and the whole vibe was just so wholesome and so personal and so intimate, and yeah, the experience was really nice, but I felt really bad about not vlogging as much. And on the one side, that's because I didn't want this vlog to be like fully fangirl, but on the other side, I did vlog like everything that I did, because I also just didn't really do a lot. I had one full day in Berlin, but it was also just really gloomy and raining outside, so the weather was just also not really cooperating, which for some reason just made it harder to vlog and harder to do things, because it was just like a very gray city in my opinion, and I just didn't really enjoy Berlin as much as I thought I would. So also personally, I wouldn't recommend Berlin as a solo trip destination, because I just didn't really feel safe, to be honest. Like being alone in this city, like especially in the dark, I just didn't really feel too good about it. So I ended up actually spending quite a bit of time with friends, because I knew a lot of people that were also in Berlin those days, and it was really wholesome to just reunite with people who I hadn't seen in years, because I also met up with my friend Hannah, who I had not seen in 5 years, and it was just so crazy because her life also really changed, so it's really nice to catch up and just talk. And yeah, there were just some really wholesome memories, and the experience was just really good. But I didn't love Berlin as much like as the city itself, and that could be because I didn't have enough time, and also because of the weather and stuff. I just didn't really enjoy it. And also I was obviously quite tired on the Thursday and Friday because of the whole camping thing. Don't regret it at all, because I feel like this experience is just something I really needed, and it was just so special to me. Shawn Mendes is just not a face. It's, I don't know what it is, but it's not a face. It's been 10 years and it just still has such a big impact, and his new music is also just super special to me, which makes the show like even more special. So on the Friday I was gonna go and take the train home, and I had to leave my hostel at like 5 a.m. So I wake up at like 4:30 and I get a notification that my train is cancelled again. So I obviously start panicking a little bit because I'm in Berlin all by myself and the train's cancelled. So I did end up going to the train station at the same time, and there ended up being a replacement train. So the train did go, and I was so happy about that. It was delayed by like 30 minutes, but I just really wanted the train to even go, so I was very, very happy about that. But after I came home, I just really had to recover because I had a really busy weekend, so I also just didn't really have time to actually rest after doing all of that. And that morning was also the morning that the album was released, so honestly during that train ride it was like 5 hours or so, and the only thing I did was just stare outside and listen to the new album, which was absolutely insane. If you haven't listened to it, you definitely should. But yeah, I feel kind of weird about this vlog because it's more about the concert than I would have wanted it to. So I feel like people who watch me for like the 80% of my life that is not Shawn Mendes would not enjoy this vlog. So it's a weird feeling, but I don't have any other clips because I didn't do anything else, so I can't really do anything about it. So I'm really hoping you'll still enjoy the vlog. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say about it. So to sum up the experience, I didn't love Berlin as a solo trip destination, and like obviously my opinion is my opinion, so other people can think that Berlin is really nice and safe for a solo trip, but I just didn't really feel that way. So I do want to mention that because that's just how I felt. So yeah, I really hope you still enjoyed the vlog. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and I will hopefully see you in my next video. Bye bye.